Like that a lot.
Oh, so good.
The new one from Shakin Stevens. And the man himself joins us now. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
It's a pleasure.
So tell us about the new material you've been working on. You've got the album there, I believe.
Yeah, I have, yeah. Well, you come to a stage in life, I didn't know nothing about the family at all. I didn't, when people think of Shakin Stevens, yeah, oh, the guy, that lives in Wales, or, and he's had all these hits and blah, 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 and that's about it. So I started researching the family. I found out that we had ancestors in Cornwall that went vertical down in the mines with terrible conditions down there, and stories about my uncle who died, was blown up by a gun. Echoes of My Time does that. And every family's got secret and lies. Every family's got secret and lies. So we wrote a song about that. So it's very deep, it's very different from the 80s stuff. It's totally different. And it's stories that people can relate to.
So it's come across in both the music and the visuals as well there for
Absolutely,
that video.
yeah.
It's all about the mining and the relations to your family there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
and also salvations. We found out there's salvations in the family. There's been in the family for 150 years. And Florence, my grandmother, we wrote a song about that as well.
Amazing.
And you're touring the new album. This is your biggest tour to date, is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the tour. I've been on, I don't know how many days. I think it's 39 dates, isn't it? 39?
Does it seem
You can
like...
speak up.
Well, they can't see that person.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Background.
35, 36 dates. I think we've got
Wow.
7 left to do, and
Yeah.
just had 5 hours to get you for the concert tonight, which is the Royal Theatre, yeah?
Yeah, Concert Hall.
Yeah. And where else?
Fantastic.
What are the other dates? Scottish
We're in
dates?
Inverness tomorrow, and then we go back down.
Back down south.
Yeah.
You lose count.
Like you said, you've had so many hits from the 80s, but who's been your influences over the years?
Well, being from a family, large family of 13, and growing up, basically there was 40s music in there with a wind-up gramophone. There was 50s and there was 60s, and so there was a vast, varied music there. So it all kind of sunk into the old brain box, basically.
And do you think all of those influences have started to contribute to the work that you're still doing now, or is there more modern influences in what you're producing? I mean, how do you think you'd describe your sound now?
I think with the album, it's more kind of dug deeper into the kind of blues and the Americana type effect now, yeah.
Fantastic.
And I'd imagine over the years you've met some big stars as well. Has there anyone that you've ever been starstruck by yourself?
Yes, I had the pleasure of playing with the Rolling Stones in Seville Theatre, and meeting Chuck Berry, and the list goes on, really.
So I'd imagine they're your idols, you look up to them. How did you approach meeting the Rolling Stones, for example?
The Rolling Stones, I think the guy at the time was looking after us. He put an ad in the Melody Maker, which it doesn't exist anymore, advertising. I think he asked John Lennon. I think John Lennon was doing a gig in Toronto, and he wore this white suit, which looked like Chuck Berry's suit. And we said, if John wears that suit, we'll give the guy a break, and he can join us in the gig.
Shakin, stay with us. We've got more to chat to you about
So
just
much
after
more.
the break, and we'll also chat to Bruce Johnson from the Beach Boys. First, though, it's time for some tea.
Welcome back to Live at 5. Now, we're delighted to say we are still joined in the studio by Shakin Stevens. Thank you for hanging around.
Nice to meet you.
In my hand here, I have got a copy of the new album. It's looking Echoes of Our Times. It looks fantastic. But you've obviously got the show tonight in Glasgow. What can people expect? Do they get the old classics on the stage as well?
Well, we're doing all the tracks on the album, which is, there's 10, and we use a big screen, so there's videos on there as well. Yes, there will be classics, but This Old House, for instance, it's it's nothing like the original. We do it a kind of a bluesy way, and people listen to the words more, because there is a true story to the track. So yes, they will be hits.
They'll be there, just a bit of different interpretation.
There'll be no white boots, though. I'll tell you that.
Now, you've got 4 number ones to your name, countless tours, and the music industry has changed a lot over the years. What's the biggest difference that you see where music is at now?
Well, it's all online now, isn't it, really? I mean, the physical record disc is petering out. I mean, in Scandinavia, it's just online now, and Germany, I think in about a year's time, it's going to be all online. So it's a learning code for us, but we'll catch up.
Yeah, no.
And what advice, very quickly, would you give to younger performers who are just starting out?
Well, there's great opportunities for online, really, because, you know, they can put their website up there and not just reach little, you know, the UK, they can reach worldwide, you know, so it's great opportunities of that.
Now, I'm so sorry we have to do this because you're in the studio, but I need to ask, when it comes to Christmas, such an iconic song, Merry Christmas, everyone. Do you still enjoy that song, or do you dread hearing it every year because it comes on every single year without fail?
I don't dread, but I will point out, and you probably know anyway, if you don't, you should. I mean, the guy that wrote the song is a Scottish guy, isn't he? Bob Heatley, and you know, it comes out every year, it charts, and people must like it. You know, it's just not UK.
So iconic, though, isn't it? It's great.
Yeah.
And it's one thing you can't tamper with is tradition at that time of year either.
Oh, that's
so
right.
it's a winner for you, isn't it? Yeah.
Gonna live long forever.
Yeah, it's Shaky. It's great to have you in the programme tonight. Enjoy the gig in Glasgow tonight.
Thank you very much.
And
Nice talking
tomorrow,
to you.
yes. Thank you very much.
Now, we're staying on a musician's theme we admire. One of the biggest boy bands of all time will be in Glasgow this Friday.
They will indeed. The Beach Boys will play the SEC Armadillo, but they're performing in Belfast tonight. So we caught up with Bruce Johnson from the group a little earlier on.